The leather goods industry in England had two bases. It had a base in London, which was for the very top end, and a base in the Midlands in Walsall, which is still the leather goods area in England, where it was more the middle end. And we were based in London partly because our head office was in London, and we were at the very top end of manufacturing. And it was only about 15 years ago when the area of London around Smithfield, which was the leather quarter, became gentrified and turned into restaurants and offices, that we had to move the factory. It was no longer feasible to have a factory in central London. And that's when we bought another company in the Midlands and moved everything up there, where we had a lot more space and more people and a larger workforce that we could call on. My father always enjoyed making things and making beautiful product, and that came, I think, from his father, who made beautiful products. And it was just something it was in his blood. He didn't want to make an inferior product. It had to be the best. And that showed also. My father always wore beautiful suits and good shoes, and it mattered to him, this sort of thing. So it carried on in the way he did business. Okay. The Ettinger brand was actually started back in the 40s when he bought the first factory based in London, and the logo was even then put onto the products. So it was just a start of the Ettinger brand building, but it took many, many years to grow to where it is now. But it was a good start, and it gave them time to really improve and perfect the making of fine British leather goods. The first export that our company did was to Europe. My father knew Europe well and spoke languages, so he used to travel to Switzerland and Germany and France and sell to the department stores and stores there. But then it was in the early 70s he started to go to Japan with a few other British manufacturers and built up quite a good business there. It was some of the first people to go out there and sell. They didn't see many English people out there, but he built up quite a good business in those days in Japan, and it's something that we've carried on up till today, and it's now one of our largest markets, which he started off in those early days. The Japanese have always liked British products. I think they've always had an affinity to Britain, and therefore they like the leathers we use and the quality of finish and workmanship, and it's something that has continued on until today. In Japan and Korea, they pay great attention to detail, in a way far more than we do in the West. It matters to them. I mean, it's like, Japanese cars are beautifully assembled, and it's, I think, because it's a state of mind. They care. When they make something, they care about it, and that makes it even better. It's not a skill thing. It's about wanting to make it the best, and that's something that we do now as well. We care, and everybody in our factory actually wants to make the best leather product possible. The company where I did my apprenticeship in Germany, it was in fact called an office and business apprenticeship, and it was a company called Zimmermann. They were marble manufacturers, and they made everything from house interiors to marble lamps and desk sets and ashtrays. It was a gift business, and so it was not dissimilar in some ways to our business, selling to retailers. And it was what I call a real apprenticeship, where you went in for 2 years, you earned almost nothing, but you learnt an enormous amount from the factory floor to exporting and how accounts worked. And it was the biggest learning curve of my life, really, a practical learning curve. It was my university, and I'm really grateful that I went there.